How's it going, everybody? Welcome back yet again into our world, and today we are going to be building in our new Pirate Bay area, which is going to be pretty awesome. And I've got a whole bunch of stuff to talk to you guys about what has happened. Not really too much has happened, nothing insane, just a whole bunch of just places of blocks, as you can tell. But besides that, just our story, how it's evolved, how it is evolving, and where we're going to be. Where we're going to be taking this, and of course I said bay and not cove. I'm not too sure on the technical differences of those, but that is the difference, and I think we're gonna maintain it. It's a bay, but either way, your suggestions in the last episode work fantastically because, of course, they are still applicable. I mean, if you said like I can't even remember any of the names now, and I've just read them not even 5 minutes ago. Can you believe it? But for instance, like say, what is this? A peony, I think that is. Like Peony Cove. It'll work if you put that in Bay as well. So it kind of works in both ways. Is the sun going down? What did I just pick up out of that? Cool. There we go. Okay, I thought that took a bit long. So today what we're doing is we're going to build the dock area, and it's kind of, I've got a bit of inspiration on this area, quite a bit of inspiration actually on this area for like the long-term project of this, like the big overall idea of it. But for now, what we're doing is we're going to take on one little edge of it, which is going to be a very solid piece that's going to be sitting over here. And what made me think about it was around here, if we step out and we look at the land, you can see how that was like a box. Look at that, all going straight, all going up there. And I actually looked at the chunk. The chunk finishes there. So it was obviously just some weird world loading. By the way, this area is going to be awesome when we get to it. But it was obviously just some weird world loading stuff, and I'm not really too concerned with that. But we needed to do something or get rid of it completely. So I decided doing something with it is probably a bit better than getting rid of it completely, because of course that takes a bit of time, and it's a lot of effort to do that. So let's go ahead, grab some things here quick, and grab a few of these. Those will be good. There we go. Maybe a few more. Yeah, that'll do. All right, so what the plan is, here we go. And in fact, I'll probably be smart if I did this right now and made a little pathway back here. So I've measured this out, and I've got some ideas of what we are going to be doing here. And what I want to add on today is I want to start with this very basic cube over here, which is going to be a very solid part of the dock. And I want to finish off today with something pretty and looking a bit different. And of course, it'll all sort of make sense by the time we complete the story, or at least add a bit more into the story and really get it going. So the idea is that we're going to be making things a little bit more pretty. And in fact, you know what? I'm going to go get some andesite, because andesite is fantastic for what we're about to do. I'm going to make things a bit more, I guess, ornate, or just a bit more decorated than what you would normally expect a pirate place to be. And the reason for that is I'm thinking along the lines of sort of if you guys know the Pirates of the Caribbean, the first one, like in my opinion, the only one that was worth watching, but that's beyond the point. The very first Pirates of the Caribbean, that one over there, they kind of start off in a battle in, well, like at least near the beginning of the movie, start off in a battle in a very colonial looking area. And what I'm thinking would be really cool is to at least maybe take that kind of idea of like those colonial buildings and start playing around with that and seeing what we can do with it. And that's what I plan on doing with it, is it's taking in the colonial look of buildings and maybe make it as if it's been taken over by the pirates, and we could even have some damaged buildings, you know, we could have things like that. And it's very important to actually do stuff like that, because it means you get your whole story straight from the beginning, and you get a very different sort of story. What I want to do now, quickly, because this is I just need to figure out where we're at with this, and how I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to lay out a few little things just to make my life a bit easier. I thought I could do it. I'm kind of lost a little bit, so I'll step back for a second, and I'll be right back. All right, I got some idea, and I was thinking we'll just pull these out a little bit further. But where was I? I think I was talking about the Pirates of the Caribbean or whatever. But yeah, that's right. That's not a big deal. So this is, I've got some idea of what I want to do here. I want to make this area push out quite a bit. So we've got 1, 2, and 3 being the back wall layers of detail, and that's like a pretty cool building concept to maybe if you guys do struggle a bit with building, maybe just wrap your mind around is getting that depth in the build, of course, and you'll see what difference it can make to these sorts of things. So the next thing is I just want to go ahead and just place in the blocks that we know are going to be there. Just because it makes my life a bit easier just knowing where they are. And in fact, we could probably change this up here. Also, another thing, we didn't fight the Wither for no reason last episode. In fact, we fought it for some very good reason, and that is also going to become apparent today in a very slight sense. I don't want to go too crazy with it, but to some very small extent, it will be quite important. Let's go 4 of those, and we've got these 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll put these away. By the way, this is pretty important. So cyan dye is also a beautiful thing when mixed in with a bit of this. And look at that. That is beautiful. 64 of this cyan terracotta. It's really good. And also, by the way, I don't know if you guys have realized, but we're playing on the Pirate Speak stuff. So it's like a oak mega shrub and Spado diamond, cutlass so diamond. Actually, it's kind of weird. What? Oh, maybe it's when it's enchanted it goes blue. Okay, that makes sense. That totally makes sense now. I was a little bit confused because I've noticed some things are going blue automatically on the tool tips, or at least the name, but some aren't. And I thought it was diamond at first, but then I guess it's just enchanted tools do that. So let's go over here. Let's see what we got. We've got a nice little piece like that. Looking good. I guess what we could do, and I'll show you what makes me think this way, because I guess maybe you guys can see where I'm thinking and all that sort of stuff. And remember, every block here can be replaced. We don't have to stick with these just because we put them there. What I'm thinking is this over here's got a nice little curve to it. But if we do something like this, and of course this sort of pattern shows itself very often. Look at that. A very, very cool arch, because you kind of take almost, what is that, 3/4 of the block? That might very well be 3/4 of a block taken up by that. That could work very well, and we'll just do that. Fill those in there. So that's what we're looking at here. And what I want to do is, with this whole build that we're doing here being the whole area eventually, I want to make it a little bit more wacky. I don't want it to just stay very bland colors and get stuck on those sorts of things. I'd like to at least add in a bit more color. And what I was thinking for this, which would be really cool, because of course the biome is going to be significantly more tropical, is maybe get a bit of jungle and acacia in here. And it does sound kind of crazy, I know, a jungle and acacia. Who would do that? This guy apparently would do that. He may be very wrong, but we'll see about that. But I'd like to at least give them a go. And where they can work really well is as little detail bits. In fact, I might just do this, and then I'll do that. But they might work very well as just some small detail areas over here. So for instance, let's do this. If we step out here and we step back here, you can see that we've got this neat little thing here where we've got the archway with slabs. What we can also go ahead and do is, I guess, do something around here where we do something like that, and we can push it over there, and then we can start getting the wood, which is most likely going to be a bit higher up in this build, mixed in with the rest of the stuff. Actually, you know what I can do? Because I'm not liking that. I could just do that over there. That already helps out a little bit. Yeah, that's cool. And then, of course, we're going to have to get this corner piece in here, which is also very, very important. But while I'm doing a bit of this stuff, I think, and also I was planning on using this stuff back here. But while I'm planning on doing this stuff, I want to go ahead and head out to the reef. And in fact, you know what? Here, I'm speaking about all these cool names. By the way, thank you very much for your guys' suggestions. It's always very, very cool to see like neat little suggestions for names, because I am absolutely appalling with names. I'm terrible. I'm good at remembering them, terrible at coming up with them. So in other words, if I met someone out in public and I forgot their name, I'm definitely not making one up for them. I'm definitely not making one up for them. But you get what I mean. I'm just horrible at coming up with creative names for these things, and it's cool that at least YouTube can fill the gap in where I'm lacking in this area. So that's looking neat. I'm going to replace this. Well, I'm not going to replace. I'm going to copy this over there as well. Yes, I think that's what I'll do. I'll copy that over there, and then I want to go push over this way and get this side fixed up. And where we can add in a fair bit of detail is on this corner, because I've pushed out there, and adding into this corner, generally that sort of thing would add some really cool stuff there. But enough of that. Let's go do what we wanted to do with our beacon. Now, we need to get a whole bunch of coral, and coral has been a real right pain in the butt for me to get. I don't know what it is about it. Well, I know what it is. It's underwater. That's horrible. It actually does a pretty good job considering, but still. Actually, here's something. Does this do what it does with grass and replace it? It doesn't. Okay, that's pretty neat. That's cool. Either way, what we are here for is to get a whole bunch of coral, because it is going to be super important to what we are doing. Where is the sun? It's going down. That could be interesting. Either way, actually, I've just fought a drowned, which is kind of cool. I really did enjoy fighting a drowned. The only thing with it is, I feel like I am so super unlucky. Even though I know you need drowns that have got the actual, that are carrying the trident. Did I not bring my beacon? Are you serious? I didn't bring my beacon. That was real smart of me. But either way, we'll do this anyway. But yeah, I know you got the drowns that have to be carrying the trident. But I've thought about like 3, 4, 5 maybe of them. And I've seen so many people get them so much easier, but I feel like 1 in 5 would be a bit much. But still, I've been pretty unlucky with that. I can't wait to get myself a trident. I think that's probably going to be one of the, I'm sure I can probably back it up, but one of the most overpowered weapons in the game. But man, I just can't believe how much I've tried to get one so far, which hasn't been a lot. But the amount that I've gone out my way to get them, I guess, is the point. That I've just been going out my way trying to fight them, and I just can't get it right. Also, by the way, this city, here are some things. All right. So this village, while we are on our way to it, is going to eventually be populated by villagers. So what I'm going to do, though, is not populate with any villagers just yet, because nighttime is horrible for villagers. And besides all that kind of nonsense, either way, this city, this village, I've been thinking about a few different things, and ooh, didn't even do anything. Now look at this. It's actually changing the way that our achievements come through here. I didn't even knew they even had different names for that. That's really cool. But yeah, what I was saying is I've got some cool ideas for some things that I want to add into this village, and of course, I guess it's kind of the importance of having a bit of a story, which I know a lot of people aren't too big into stories, and to be honest, I kind of understand sometimes they can get quite cringy and sometimes just a little bit useless, to be completely honest. But the reason I like to add a little bit, even just a tiny bit of a story to the world, at least to the building, is pretty much because it allows you to do something a little bit different. You know, you can, for instance, you could build a house, right? But you could build a house that has burnt down. You see, there's a little bit more to build in there. It means your house is a little bit more interesting to someone who looks at it. You know, they can tell that there's something else going on besides it just being a house and stuff like that. For instance, here, when we're doing the pirate bay, but I keep thinking pirate bay. What? Oh, that was, I know what, never mind. I was wondering why I keep saying it and it doesn't sound wrong. Because pirate bay was a thing, like, years ago. I don't even know if it's still a thing. But now this is just Jansey's brain like reacting very slowly. But yeah, what I was saying is the whole thing with it. I don't think I could do that, right? I think I have to get the 4th layer to be able to do that. Yes. These are really neat sounds. But yeah, enough of that. What I was saying is just in general, adding in extra stuff. So right now, if you guys want to, because of course this is the beginning of the pirate stuff that we're doing. If you've got any cool thoughts on that, drop them down in the comments. Any ideas of what you want to leave for the colonial town and the dolphin? I've been looking for you. I want to try naming a dolphin. There we go. Okay, so this over here. I'll get to that. Pretty much what I was going to say is if you guys have got any cool ideas, let me know in the comments, because that is always cool, and we can always just add a bunch of things in. You're really causing a bunch of havoc, Plank. By the way, it said Plank. Now I don't know which one's which. They all look alike. There we go, that one. Perfect. All right, so we're going to see. This is another thing that I was about to discuss before the dolphins rudely interrupted. Was I've been thinking, because dolphins, I was saddened to find out that dolphins despawn apparently. As they go around the world, because of course else you just wouldn't get dolphin spawning, but of course the name tag will keep them spawned in the game. And I was thinking, like, you know, you watch National Geographic and you see the sharks getting tagged, and then a few months later they find where they are. I think that would be really cool to do with dolphins. It's the closest thing we got to it in the game, and we may as well see when we see Plank around. All right, so we may have another opportunity here. As I was speaking about it just before, we're on our way back. Not a very crazy trip, but look at that. These things aren't hurting as much as the first time I encountered these guys. Although, why did I have to open my mouth up then? Come on, Jansey. You know that's not smart. One more hit. Yes. Now, did I pick something up? I did. Oh, Sword OC. I know it's got some really weird pirate speak text, but that is fantastic. Man, that is actually really, really exciting. I don't know. You know what? I'm going to hold on to this thing very, very carefully. And I don't know what... I don't know what we actually used to, I could have sworn I heard something right behind me. I don't know what we used to repair that, but I'm going to leave that over there. You guys tell me what I must do with it. Make sure I don't mess it up, please, because my odds are I'm probably going to try and enchant it, get something terrible on it. Tell me what I need. Hey, man, this is my bedroom, so I'd appreciate it if you just left. But either way, that was fantastic, and I want to show you guys something really, really neat. And of course, this area is looking a bit closer to done. Hey, man. There we go. Okay, cool. So this is what this area is looking like. We're about to do this corner. I just need to get my stuff together. But look at that. Look how neat that is looking. I think it's pretty cool. I mean, obviously, I'm using a very odd choice of blocks. And you guys can feel free to tell me what you think about him. But I thought that was looking pretty cool. Look at what our haul was, though, as well. The steak was not part of that, but yeah, looking rather good. The most important things was this over here and this over here. These are for later, so not for today's episode. Well, actually, I guess I could maybe show you guys today's episode. You know what? Let's go do it. Let's go do it. Before I go any further, I'll show you what I'm thinking. And this is the way I remember when I think if you guys can remember all the way, excuse me, boat. If you guys can remember all the way back to the very, very beginning of the series, which I mean, it was really only like 2 and a bit weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, whatever it is now. I mentioned that I really like the look of these blocks over here in the gray, and this is no exception. In fact, I'm going to use this as an opportunity to pillar up with these and place these. But what I noticed was that these had this really cool little texture on them, like this, that look a lot like real palm trees in real life. And as far as I can tell, these, according to me, according to my professional opinion, are the best blocks for these palm trees. And I mean, hey, you guys feel free to tell what you think about it. This is not the tree that I'm planning on doing in terms of palm trees. This is just like a symbolic palm tree. But let's just look over my back. I think that looks a lot better, personally. I mean, if you guys don't believe me, just Google palm tree, and you'll find 99% of them have got a gray trunk and not well, was it a trunk or stem? A gray trunk and not a brown one. So I thought that was a really cool look. I want to add more of them. And in fact, this island here is probably going to be our terraforming, I don't know, what would you call it? Canvas, I guess, realistically. That's what we're going to be doing. Everything over there. But enough of that. I'm going to get my stuff together and we can go fix up a corner. All right, boat building time. Well, building out of a boat time. Either way, you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying. What we're doing right now is we're going to be messing around with this. Of course, the corner that I just mentioned. But I'm going to finish off with this corner once it's done by doing something very, very uncharacteristic, I guess. Oh, yes, that's perfect. We can stand on the boat. Then we are winning. Look at that. That is what we call winning right there. When you can actually stand on the boat and do all this stuff that I want to do without being kind of pushed around, which is great. So weird blocks are weird blocks. Can I speak? Weird blocks are about to come out. Just bear that in mind. Just bear that in mind. We'll be all right. So of course, if you guys do have any objections to the blocks that I'm going to use, let me know. I honestly, I'm just trying my hardest to do things I'm not comfortable with these things. Use blocks that I don't very often use, and I really want to. Yeah, you know what? Honestly, I'll leave that. We'll see what we do. If we don't like it, we'll get rid of it. But here we go. These are the blocks I'm talking about. That corner's actually, that could probably do with a bit more stuff. I just don't have all the blocks on me that I necessarily want. But what I do want to do here is I want to get out these and make this slope in here. And I may actually need to do a bit of clearing of ground. Yeah, I will. I'll have to clear out this here, but that's all right. We'll do that very, very quickly. I'll only do a little bit just so we can get the concept down, because I'm actually probably going to have to redo a bit of this area, because for a beach, I guess this is good for boats, but it's very, very deep. So I really don't want to end up having no ground to it at all. So I'm probably going to have to do some cool stuff for a beach. But here, this is what I'm thinking of, is doing a bit of this and then a bit of that. And I know this works pretty well from a distance because I've tried this before in a creative world. And I do want to really give it a go. So let's just step out here and flip around. Yeah, look at that. A little bit of color underneath there. I'm probably actually going to get rid of that block there. That's a bit much. But what I was thinking of was just trying to get a bit of color in places that you don't always see it. And that's like places like this where you don't necessarily need it in your face. You can, yeah, I can still break these at the right pace. Perfect. You don't need them in your face, but you can still see the color and it works through the whole way. That's what I'm really going for. And I think this over here, this acacia, may very well be the trick. So take a step back. Let's check it out. I didn't actually expect it to come out the top there, so that could be a problem. Yeah, that's a little problem. I can fix that pretty easy. What we can do is we can jump underwater. We can put these on each side of it, so we can go, can I stand there? Perfect. Right there. And right there. And then just one of these down here. So let's check that out. I think that'll work just to hide it, because it's when it's through the water, when it's got the blue on it and it's darker, it seems to work quite well. There we go. Yep, that's perfect. That's good. But bear in mind, this over here is probably going to get terraformed, gonna get all rocks and stuff going in it. I think that'll start to work quite well. And besides that, I wanted to try out with this, which is it's normally the blue, but it's not actually blue right now. And I don't know what that actually is meant to be. Honestly, cinder, I think it's cinder, cylinder, with the extra R's. I see what you did there. With the extra R's, that's the concrete we want. So what I was thinking was putting this in a few places here, and I know it doesn't quite go with the cyan, but I thought it really looks a lot like barnacles like barnacles on a ship, barnacles that you get just growing in places, maybe some oysters on the side here. I thought it would look really cool for that, and it's, of course, the idea of it, and we'll start working some more things into it. Yeah, that works all right. It just makes it look messy, and it breaks up that continuous look over there. In fact, what might be even better is when we replace some of these, like that, with a bit of it, and that one in there, and then maybe another one, we'll do that one back there. So it's something you don't see a lot of. These little things, I think, add all up to something very, very cool. Yeah, that's cool. So here we go. Some ideas, of course, that I've got is on here. I want to do what I was saying is have this a colonial town. And I'm thinking maybe a dockmaster's house over here, or a dockmaster's office, sorry, which is going to be a fairly large building. And we're going to try and make it as if there are pirates that have taken over, living among what is kind of like a forgotten part, or at least a lost war with the pirates. The pirates want to live here. These people live here as well. It's going to be kind of like a mutual thing, but don't worry, it's complicated, but I'm sure we'll work it out in the end. That's just what's going through my head at the moment. It's down to change, but I'm pretty sure we got it good. Now, the real question for today is, what is ever going to happen to Plank? Will we ever see Plank again? I don't know, but I hope we do. But for today, I hope to see you guys again very soon. I'm going to get rid of that, by the way. I hope to see you guys again very soon. But for today, that will be our episode. So thank you so much for joining me here today, guys. Tell me what you think. Of course, many things in this episode. By the way, I'm never that lucky. That was ridiculous. I've put the thing, trident away. I'm never that lucky. So maybe some hype for that, or some thumbs up for that. But thank you very much for watching, guys. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you very soon.